The Power of the Elements Tactical Master Season is 100% solved. The only thing that is left to give you the information that you need to be able to dominate this format. What's going on with y'all, big dog? And it is, oh yeah, you already know, it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, I hope that your day, phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't even let what happened at the beginning of the day ruin the rest of your day, big dog. Seriously. Today, I am going to be giving you the spice. I am going to be dropping a fireball. It is a bomb. We are going to explain some of the most popular and top meta decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And where do they belong on the food chain. Let's go ahead and jump on in, as I have 5 different categories I gotta explain to you. Our first category is Meta Changer. These are the cream de la crop. These are the decks that are the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Hands down, and define what the meta is. From here, I have the tier 1 strategies. These strategies can 100% compete, and of course, win a regional, top a YCS here and there. They are very powerful decks, but they do not define what the meta is. Tier 2 strategies are still very good inside of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, but may struggle in the particular climate that we're in. Maybe it's the Forbidden List, maybe it's some new cards that kind of the particular strategy. But regardless, if you're good with this strategy, you could be able to top and even win regional level events with these decks. Rogue strategies tend to be very, very good in specific spots, but may struggle against others. And then, of course, everybody's favorite, casual Arby's. Oh no, what are you doing, baby? The tier that you use when you turn off your cross-platform for your Xbox. If you know, you know. I think right here I got maybe about 28 decks to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump on in and start with ABC. ABC is a fairly powerful tier 2 Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy. What's been really crazy about this particular format is that the Adventure Engine and the Therion Engine have fallen to the wayside, but ABC is still a strategy that can effectively use those cards and be able to create some strong boards. The problem with this, we talked about it yesterday in our top 5 Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks, where ABC could pretty much struggle, is its recovery plan once its board gets broken, because in this Yu-Gi-Oh! Format, your board will be broken. A solid ABC player that knows exactly what they're doing can go far with it. I can say the same for Invoked, but I'm gonna put it in the Rogue strategy or the Rogue category because I do think it's a little bit more disadvantaged. Now, there was an Invoked Despia deck that actually did really well in an event. The problem with that is that I am not convinced that the Invoked portion helped as much as the Despia portion. Despia is cracked right now. Is this new combo that Invoked has, and it only requires 2 specific cards and 1 card. This particular combo takes full advantage of the Alistair link. You can be able to fusion summon both into your Mechaba and Percatrio, use them for a link into your other Alistair link to make Gigantic Sprite. You thought something was new with the deck? Them Iggy boys, I swear the artwork on this strategy, it feels like if they gave somebody blind with no hands and told them, yo, just paint something, and they was like, all right, cool. But overall, the Ignister strategy is a solid low-end tier 1 strategy, high-end tier 2 strategy. And the reason why I classify this strategy as a tier 1/tier 2 strategy is its ability to be able to play Mathmech cards in it. Mathmech Ignister is doing extremely well, but Mathmech is a really good deck. Still, being able to go through full Ignister combo and get into your Mathmech cards, as well as being able to make the Arrival Ignister, could still steal some games. Despia, guys, it might be Hopium. I am going to make a bold take. Despia is still tier 1. Despia has an uncanny ability to still be able to go second and plow through boards, and hand traps don't really mean much against this strategy. Also, players have discovered the new trap card from Power of the Elements allows a Despia player to Scythe lock you and get a free bandit search on your opponent's turn. I personally have some text for Despia that I think is spice, like special summoning double tax dragon with only 2 cards. I personally think that Despia has a lot more spice than what players are giving it credit. I put Dinomorphia in casual, and then it went up and showed out and did amazing. So in Rogue, here we go. It genuinely does take the correct Dinomorphia player to be really successful. That, and of course, a branded engine. No shade to the Dinomorphia players. You guys already know what it is. This is a deck that can struggle against cards like Triple Tactics, Talon, and Dark Ruler no more. But if you can cover up those weaknesses, then you'll be pretty much good inside of this format. I actually struggled where to put Drytron because it doesn't have a ton of representation. But this is actually, it's one of those cusp decks. I think that it's just like Ignister. I'm gonna go ahead and say tier 1. Drytron is actually really good in going second. It already plays synchro monsters like Herald of Arclight and Elder Entity Entis. The new Ultimate Slayer card does the deck justice for being able to crack boards. Drytron has all of the utility to go second and can summon some of the most powerful monsters when going first, so I gotta put it in that tier 1. Eldritch, guys. Eldritch easily. Tier 1, guys. Step aside. Eldritch might be the second out of all of these. Maybe because I'm still open on Hopium for Despia. You guys should already know the drill, guys. Play all of the floodgates or play a branded engine. It's almost like branded is like the father of so many good strategies right now, and it's a good card. Overall, TJ loves Glue and Eldritch loves him, so it's a solid tier 1 strategy. For Exo Sisters, unfortunately, tier 2 is going to be where I'm going to put it. Now, the reason why I put Exo Sisters in tier 2 is because we have not established a format where players like to touch the graveyard more than Bill Cosby likes to touch women's drinks. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of graveyard touching right now. I think there's some necrophiliacs out there, but not enough for Exo Sister to take full advantage. Once players figure out you're playing Exo Sister, if you don't have the dimensional shifter, then they are going to just destroy your board before they start going into the graveyard, which is what a lot of decks will do. Another strategy that I think has a fairly good tier limit matchup is Fluenda Reese. We already talked about this strategy being a tier 1 strategy. Not only does it play Dimensional Shifter, that card is a literal blowout. It also plays the Barrier Statue. Who likes this deck? Nothing has really changed for Big Daddy Sprite. It is one of the best decks in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh card game. In my opinion, I personally feel that the Sprite Live Twin Frog version is the best variant possible. All of the other variants, they don't feel as powerful. Hero players always want to talk about Dark Law, like how J. Cole fans want to talk about Platinum with no features. That's going to get you into Rogue. Mass Hero Dark Law definitely will steal a ton of games this particular format, and heroes are a lot less susceptible to cards like Nibiru than what people think. Regardless, heroes still do struggle going first. I personally feel it is strictly a going second deck, but there are decks that could go second a little bit better and also have a better first turn board other than just summon Dark Law and hope your opponent doesn't have a Dark Ruler no more or Droplet. Labyrinth, Rogue. Bro, I had so much hype for this deck. I built an entire Labyrinth deck. It's okay. When Labyrinth gets its new monster from Darkwing Blast, we can probably revisit this. But the problem with Labyrinth is that once you go against a combo deck that has multiple negations, it gets really tough. Marine says it's Cybers. It feels like if you're playing a Cybers deck, not Code Talkers, then you're easily a tier 1 strategy. I mean, worst case scenario, just play Mathmech cards. Floodgates, hand traps, going second cards. I mean, yeah, you pretty much check out as a really good deck. And 1-card combos? Sheesh. I'm going to go ahead and say that Mathmech is a meta changer Yu-Gi-Oh deck. I think it is a cut above the tier 1 decks. All this deck really does in the TCG is top. You think it's ultra masculine and probably a part of the LGBT community the way that it is a top. Tons of hand traps, 1-card starters. I mean, before you put your glasses on, these two decks almost look alike. Predas were 100% sneaking on you guys. It can search super polymerization. That's ridiculous. It also plays the branded engine, but I'm really loving how the Despia branded engine has like access to all of the branded cards, where this deck kind of just branded fusion. My heart and my soul wants to put Punk in the meta changer category, but you guys won't let me, so it's definitely a tier 1 deck. Dog, Pot of fucking Greed. Pot of Greed. Then you draw cards on your opponent's turn. Then you spin cards on your opponent's side of the field, all while having a trillion hand traps in your hand. Bringing us back down to earth, a lot of players thought that Rika was only good because Mystic Mind. That is not true. Rika is actually still really good, but the more I start to see Rika players, the more I'm like, yo, no. There are so many troubled plant players. Like, oh, Jack helped them. I did not underestimate that players didn't know what Rika does. That gave it an advantage, but now you have to know what your cards do if you want to win games with Rika. Rocket Dragon Link has fallen on some hard times, though I still do think a skilled player can do fairly well with it. Problem is your board will get broken more than a single parent household, and you already know you're not going to be able to survive consistently on that. In our last tier list, we put Runic in the ultra casual. Now, after seeing it win a regional, I think it's tier 2 with the potential to be tier 1 and possibly even meta changer. I mean, players are already starting to buy the counter cards for it. And if you want to see a video about that, well, just let me know. I'll let you know all of the cards that are being bought and why you should pick up on some of those fads. Runic for right now, I'm going to go ahead and say it is a solid tier 2 strategy. If you know what you're doing, you know. I got really excited for a magical musketeer Runic deck, but I kind of like my battle phase. Solomon Greats are easily a solid rogue Yu-Gi-Oh deck. To be honest with you, the only thing that keeps Solomon Great from being Code Talker are those trap cards. They're ridiculously powerful. Other than that, you're probably better off playing some of the other cyber strategies because not only are they cheap, they're just as powerful, if not, well, they're more powerful. Sky Striker is one of those really sneaky rogue decks. You think that this deck isn't as good as it is, and then it activates Mystic Mine and wins a whole YCS again. You have to genuinely know how to play Sky Striker, probably even Sky Striker Runic, to be able to be very successful. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I'm 100% Hopium. Sword Soul is like, it's tier 2. The problem with Sword Soul has been the same problem since the beginning. Players want to go first. Stop going first in your Sword Soul deck. Not only do you make some of the worst boards ever, you literally lose to a Dark Ruler no more. Sword Soul, like Heroes, does have a weaker going first board, but its going second boards, I mean, like, it's a natural board breaking deck. Tier Limit is hands down the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. I've said this way too many times that the deck is the best, but seriously, it's the best. There are so many variants of Tier Limit you can play, but if you ask me what is the strongest, I'm leaning more towards the Danger route because making Curious to be able to send whatever you want to the graveyard for free is pretty good. Therions, my boy. If you're playing pure, you're 100% with me. You're in Hopium. I want this deck to be competitive. I want this deck to be tier 1. But unfortunately, that's not happening, big dog. It's just not how life rolls for us. Tri-Brigade is surprisingly one of the best tier 2 strategies in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. You would think that players would come very prepared at stopping the normal summon, but with Effect Veiler falling out of rotation and Infinite Impermanence being the only monster effect negator, overall hand traps have been fairly nice to Tri-Brigade players. If you were to ask me what's the best variant right now, ooh, that's tough. I think you can genuinely get away with all three right now. Tri-Brigade Sprite, Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc, and even the pure variant. Valens, guys, this is easily a meta changer. Pendulum's too strong. Who am I kidding, guys? You're very casual. Like if this was like, I don't know, like 2017 or something, and you were playing Valens and you were making those type of disruption boards, sheesh. This deck can genuinely make some ridiculously great disruption boards. Problem is that you have no cards in your hand and you lose to Dark Ruler no more. And lastly, Adventure Synchro. It is a solid tier 2 deck. Though I don't know why you would play this combo deck when you can play better combo decks like Punk or like Tier Limit or like, I don't know, just better combo decks. This deck does have opportunities to recover. It does, but those other combo decks, they almost always recover. And that is what I have for the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh tier list. Of course, I cannot wait to make a budget tier list, especially going off of the 2022 Megatons. This is going to blow your mind. If I missed a particular deck, go ahead and let me know down below in the comment section. I'll be sure to include it on the next tier list. And of course, if you want to see more amazing content, go ahead and check out these videos as I'll catch you on the next one.